YouTube is taking offline the Clips feature, breaking a native marketing tool for streamers for now. We'll talk about why this forced shutdown might actually be a win for your channel and when to expect the replacement. Plus, the real cost of the new ad-free windows for live streams. This and more in this week's Creator News. After last week's blog post about the future of streaming, YouTube disrupted the streaming community this week. According to a new thread on the support forums, YouTube is sunsetting the current clip feature. Yes, that tool that allows your viewers to capture 60-second highlights of your stream and VODs is going offline. The feature is being taken down to be completely rebuilt from the ground up with a vague promise that it will return soon in a different format. And we all know what soon means in tech language. That can mean anything between next month and 2029. Have you relied on clips in the past, or do you think they needed to be rebuilt from the ground to actually make them more viable? Let me know in the comments below. But let's take a step back and look at this from a strategic perspective. Is this shutdown actually a loss for you? If we observe the top streaming scene right now, the biggest creators aren't passively waiting for their viewers to click the clip button. The meta have shifted to actively clip farming a good while back. And this theory isn't new either. Ludwig essentially built his empire on this exact philosophy and telling aspiring creators for the last 3 or 4 years that livestream has near zero organic discoverability. Live streams are just raw filming sessions. You don't stream to grow your channel, you stream to farm clips that you then push to short form content to build your audience. To grow in 2026 and going forward, you need to professionalize your short form funnel. You can use AI clipping tools like Opus, for example, to speed up the process, but honestly, beware of turning your channel into mass-produced slop that gets hit by YouTube's inauthentic content policies. In my opinion, you shouldn't rely on AI to find the needle in the haystack in the first place. You need to plant the needle yourself before you even hit go live. You need to structure your content and plan around predefined story beats that even work when your chat is completely empty. So far the theory, but think about how you can adapt it to your own content. For example, when playing a game, set an artificial high-stakes rule beforehand. Like, if I take damage in this boss fight, I have to eat a spicy chip or prepare a deliberately controversial tier list segment. You are intentionally constructing 60-second narrative arcs with a clear hook, built-in tension, and an almost guaranteed punchline. Congratulations, you just created a standalone vertical asset from your stream that you can directly record with OBS replay buffer or download and cut from the whole stream archive easily. So yes, taking the native clips feature offline leaves a gap, but it will also maybe force you into building a proactive content strategy instead of relying on an underdeveloped tool. Staying on the topic of live features, we need to have a serious talk about the balance between viewer retention and actually making a living. YouTube CEO Neal Mohan just teased a bunch of updates, and early tests have been already spotted on Twitter that YouTube is rolling out an ad-free Windows system. Have you ever had an epic boss kill or a massive hype moment in chat only for YouTube to slap a mid-roll right in the middle of it? Well, that is less likely to happen going forward. YouTube's auto-scheduled ads now detect when your chat is hyperactive or super chat drops and actively pauses scheduled mid-roll ads to preserve the moment. On paper, this sounds like a good thing for viewer retention. Nobody wants an ad during a hype moment, but from a business perspective, it's a double-edged sword. Paused ads mean potentially fewer ad slots, which means less ad revenue in the long run. Are you willing to sacrifice ad income for a better session time? Let's talk about it in the comments. Talking about the big boss, Neal Mohan also confirmed another feature called VoiceBoost. This is a YouTube side AI audio enhancement tool built directly into the YouTube player. It is designed to automatically clean up background noise and boost vocal clarity. Well, that sounds helpful for viewers trying to bear with creators starting out with a mic that only costs $5, right? But my issue with this is currently there's no way to opt out for this for creators. If a viewer toggles VoiceBoost, YouTube's AI manipulates the audio mix in real time. If you spend thousands of dollars on a high-end audio chain, or if you intentionally left background noise in for atmospheric storytelling, YouTube's AI will just flatten it into a sterile, generic podcast voice. Once again, the platform is overriding the creator's creative vision to enforce a standardized user experience. Finally, YouTube has updated their support pages detailing changes to how subscriber notifications are handled. If a subscriber has the bell icon turned on but consistently ignores or swipes away your push notifications without clicking them, YouTube will proactively start throttling those alerts to protect user experience. That does sound terrifying for a reach, right? But don't panic, we wouldn't be KW Media if we didn't pull some data from our portfolio. So we looked at the notification metrics across 3 completely different channels and genres in our portfolio this week, and it's pretty consistent. Channel A, 55,000 subs, 5,000 push notifications, 55 views out of 10,000 total views on that video. Channel B, 36,000 subscribers, 2,000 notifications sent, and 69 views out of 18,000 total views on that video. Channel C, 129,000 subs, 7,000 notifications sent, and 81 views out of 9,400 total views from the notifications on that video. I think we can conclude with a certain confidence that the YouTube bell is a relic of the past. Push notifications generate a fraction of a single % of your total traffic. They are statistically insignificant. If YouTube decides to throttle a feature that brings in 60 views on a video that gets 15,000 views, well, it literally doesn't matter. So you should stop worrying about push notifications and focus your entire packaging strategy purely on browse and suggested algorithms. This is where the actual audience is for you to grow. And maybe, just maybe, we can go back to asking for subs, likes and comments instead of the bell. All of which you should totally do right now if you haven't already. I mean, the sub and comment part. So that's all for this week, and I want to know from you. How do we feel about viewers being able to artificially alter the audio mix with VoiceBoost after it has been uploaded? And did you realize how irrelevant push notifications actually are? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'm Martin, bringing you the relevant creator news, and I'll see you next week.